Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Russian investigators have detained a woman in the hunt for the killers of a pro-war blogger, Vladan Tartarsky, who died in an explosion in St. Petersburg. Daria Trepova here answering questions on camera, including saying she had passed a statuette to the victim before the explosion. And here, CCTV released by authorities allegedly showing Trepova entering the cafe before the blast, carrying the statue. Here, the scene of the aftermath of the blast at the cafe. The windows blown out, and inside, chairs and glass scattered around the room. This was Vladan Tartarsky speaking in September of last year at an event at the Kremlin. In it, the military blogger says, "We will beat everyone, we will kill everyone, we will rob everyone who needs to be robbed." Russian authorities have blamed Ukraine, but Kyiv has denied any involvement. It's been announced that Finland will become the 31st member of NATO on Tuesday. It was announced by the Western Military Alliance's Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg. The application was prompted by the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, with which Finland shares a long border.
This is a historic week.
Turkey had delayed the application, complaining that Finland was supporting terrorists. Sweden applied to join NATO at the same time last May, but Turkey is blocking it over similar complaints. Any NATO expansion needs the support of all its members.
We will raise the Finnish flag for the first time here at the NATO headquarters, making Finland safer and our alliance stronger.
Meanwhile, the Finnish Conservative leader Petteri Orpo has won a very close three-way election race, defeating the Prime Minister Sanna Marin's centre-left party. "We got the biggest mandate," said the leader of the National Coalition Party, after a dramatic night in which the result gradually swung away from Miss Marin's Social Democrats. Mr. Orpo secured 20.8%, while the Populists won a record 20.1%, and Miss Marin increased her party's seats and secured 19.9% of the vote.
Hi.
Sanna Marin became the world's youngest leader when she burst onto the political scene in 2019. She continues to enjoy high poll ratings and has been widely praised for steering Finland towards entry into NATO and navigating her country through the COVID-19 pandemic. The former Kosovo President Hashim Thaki has pleaded not guilty to 10 charges of war crimes and crimes against humanity as his trial opened at a special court in The Hague.
Be seated.
Allegations of persecution, murder, torture and forced disappearance of people stem from the 1998 to 1999 insurgency that eventually brought independence from Serbia and made him a hero among many compatriots. Thaki and 3 co-defendants all pleaded not guilty shortly after hearings got underway. Supporters of the former president took part in a protest as the trial began in The Hague. The East African bloc, IGAD, has praised Kenyan President William Ruto and opposition leader Raila Odinga for agreeing to hold talks aimed at ending 2 weeks of protests about the cost of living and electoral reforms. On Sunday, Odinga said that his coalition party had called off its protests planned for Monday in response to what he called an olive branch from President Ruto. The cancelled opposition demonstrations would have been the latest in a series of protests held on Mondays and Thursdays. And scientists have broken the world record for the deepest fish ever caught, as well as the deepest fish ever filmed on camera. A juvenile snailfish, part of the Liparidae family, was filmed in August 2022 at a depth of 8,336 metres, beating the previous record in the Mariana Trench by 158 metres. The research expedition by the University of Western Australia and the Tokyo University of Marine Science and Technology was part of a 10-year study on the deepest fish in the world.
They've speciated into every corner of the globe and they've overtaken all the deep sea fish. So these ones, as you see in the video, are 1,000 metres deeper than what you would normally think of as being a deep sea fish.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.